I'd like to take this opportunity to talk about why those of us who are supporting Mitt Romney for president, why we have momentum, and why we are going to win this election. We're going to win this election because Americans are concerned about the economy. Mitt Romney's tax cut plan will stimulate economic growth, just like in the Reagan recovery, the 80s, and in the recovery following the early 2000s recession under President Bush. Mitt Romney has the experience and the judgment to lead this country in both economic affairs and foreign policy. We have the momentum because he stands with us on so many issues. He doesn't necessarily, there are going to be differences, but if you look at the issues as a whole, on taxes, on spending, on foreign policy, on entitlement policy, on returning power to states, on illegal immigration, on energy, on Supreme Court justices, these are all issues where Mitt Romney stands right with the base of his party as well as moderates and independents. He has broad appeal, and that is why he is appealing to so many Americans who have been let down by the Obama economy. We've seen disappointing job numbers, higher debt, higher cost of health care and fuel, more people in poverty, and with incomes falling 6.7% in the past 4 years. But we have the momentum to go to the Republican convention and make our case for free market economic principles, a return to fiscal discipline, and an economy that grows. And, there will be some debate about the policies that Governor Romney puts forth, but the reality is that the policies that he puts forth are modeled after the past policies that have benefited in times of growth, whether it be the Roaring '20s, the '80s, the '90s, 2003 going 2002-03 going forward, following that the recession of '02, following all the way till '08, in which you had lower taxes, you had in the case of the '20s, in the '80s, fewer regulations. You have free trade. You have policies. It's basically, this election is about free markets versus government policies. And the difference that we're going to see is Mitt Romney's going to present lower taxes, less spending, limited government. President Obama is going to propose more spending and borrowing and more regulations. The difference is a government-centered society versus a market-based society. And that's going to be the fundamental difference in this election. That rallies a lot of people because the majority of the American people support markets. Now, there is a need for a few regulations. There are a need for some taxes to support our military and police force and whatnot. But overall, you have to keep taxes low. You have to keep regulations to a minimum. And Mitt Romney presents this, is representative of this because he spent his life in the private sector. So right now, he is gaining more momentum every day. He has the support of most Republicans. He's now starting to get a lot of support from independents. His poll numbers are doing all right. We're going to continue to get momentum. We're going to talk about the economy. We're going to talk about Obama's failures and the Romney remedy, which is lower taxes, less spending, minimal regulations, returning power to states, really budgetary and economic issues that affect the American worker. And as time goes on, I intend to talk about more in depth than in this particular video about how these issues directly affect the American family and the American worker.
This has been a challenging year, but we've also seen what our country is really made of. For me, one of the proudest moments was the Winter Olympics. The entire world saw an America that was unafraid and unbowed. Mitt Romney made those Olympics happen. He took over a situation that was tainted by scandal, and he brought to it total integrity. He balanced the books, and he turned it into a complete success. Mitt Romney is a real leader, and he would make a great governor.